Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Not a big show today. We have college basketball, NBA, and NHL. We have a soccer roundup, news and notes, and best bet. All right, we'll start with college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to a busy window for tonight. Marquette over St. John's, 96-85. Number 8, Tennessee over Mississippi State, 87-53. NC Central over Toccoa Falls, 98-52. BC over Notre Dame, 70-63. Syracuse over Louisville, 70-69. Michigan over Nebraska, 74-56. Vandy over South Carolina, 84-79 in overtime. Bowling Green over Eastern Michigan, 91-65. Ball State over Toledo, 90-83. Kent State over Western Michigan, 80-72. Buffalo over Ohio, 75-72. Akron over Northern Illinois, 76-51. Central Michigan over Miami of Ohio, 68-56. Kentucky over LSU, 74-71. Creighton over Seton Hall, 83-61. Number 3, Kansas over Texas Tech, 75-72. Kansas State over number 6, Texas, 116-103. Whoa. Number 7, Alabama over Ole Miss, 84-62. Pitt upsets number 11, Virginia, 68-65. Number 14, Wisconsin over Minnesota, 63-60. Utah State over Air Force, 77-65. Boise over San Jose State, 67-64. St. Mary's over Academy of Art, 84-74 or 84-64. And Fresno State over number 21, New Mexico, 71-67 to hand New Mexico the first loss. So no more unbeatens in college basketball. Okay, now we look at today's busy slate. 5 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, number 23, Charleston at NCAT. Good for Charleston for finally being ranked. I project them as a 17 3/4 favorite, and the total 146 and 13/20. And we got here 11.5 and 151.5. I'm going to lay the 11.5 with Charleston. 6 o'clock, Uche Morgan State. We skipped 6:30 SEC Network, number 22, Auburn at Georgia. My line is Auburn, 3.5, total 134 9/10, and it is 7.5 and 136.5. I like Georgia getting the points. Fox Sports 1, Villanova, Georgetown. My line is Villanova by 10 3/4, total 144 4/5, and it's 9.5 and 143.5. So I have a little, like a 1.25 edge on Villanova. And I have a little bit of a larger edge on the over. It's like a 1 3/10 edge on the over. So a slight over in that game. 7 o'clock, number 12, Miami at Georgia Tech. My line is Miami by 14.5, total 142 and a 10th, and it is 6.5 and 146.5. I'm going to lay to 6.5 with Miami. Number 16, Duke at NC State on the ACC Network. My line is Duke by 5, total 141 and 3/10, and it is 3.5 and 144.5. Under. Number 25, Iowa State at Oklahoma on ESPN2. My line is Oklahoma by 3.25, total 129 and 11/20, and it is 3.5 and 124.5. Over. Tulsa, Tulane. My line is Tulane by 14, total 147 and a 10th, and it is 13.5 and 153.5. Under. Temple, South Florida. My line is Temple by 5 3/4, total 138 and 3/20, and it is South Florida by 2.5, total 135.5. Ooh, wrong team's favorite. Give me Tulane plus 2.5 and plus 115 outright. UCF, East Carolina. My line is UCF by 5, total 134 and 17/20. And 5.5 and 129.5. Over. Northern Iowa and Valparaiso. My line is Northern Iowa by 5, total 137 and 9/20, and it's 2.5 and 137.5. Laying the 2.5 with Northern Iowa. Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, Norfolk State, we can skip. Big Ten hour, Penn State, Michigan. This is low-key a big one. My line's Michigan by 8.25, so 143 and 17/20, and it is 3.5 and 140.5. I'm going to lay the points with Michigan. A&M, Florida on ESPNU. My line is Florida by 1, total 143 and 20th, and it's 5.5 and 139.5. That's a tough one. Just a very tough one. So I have a 4.5 point edge on Texas A&M. All right, so I'm going to take A&M getting the points because my edge on the over smaller. George Washington and Richmond. My line is Richmond by 6.25, total 141 and 2/5. And it is, hold on, guys. 8.5 and 141.5. I'm going to take George Washington getting the points. VCU Duquesne, my line is VCU by 3.5, total 138 and 9/10. And it's Duquesne by 1.5, total 137.5. Ooh, wrong team's favorite again. Give me VCU plus 1.5 and even money to win. St. Joe's Dayton, my line is Dayton 16.5, total 134 and 9/10. And it's 14.5 and 133.5. I'm going to lay the points with Dayton. Loyola Chicago Davidson on CBS Sports Network. My line is Davidson by 3.25, total 139 and 3/4. And let's see here. 4.5 and 134.5. Over. George Mason, St. Bonaventure. My line is George Mason by 3.5, total 135 and 4/5. And it's 1.5 and 129.5. Over. Fordham, Rhode Island. My line is Fordham by 1.75, total 137 and 1/10. And it's Rhode Island 1.5, total 135.5. So give me Fordham plus 1.5 and minus 102 and plus 114 outright. SC Upstate and Radford. My line is Radford by 4, total 141 and 11/20. And we got 8.5 and 138.5. Give me Upstate getting the points. That's a lot. Presbyterian and Winthrop. My line's Winthrop by 12, total 140 and 13/20. And it is 6.5 and 135.5. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Winthrop. UNC Asheville and High Point. My line's Asheville by 2, total 150 and 19/20. And it is 2.5 and 155.5. That's a tough one. So I have a 4.5 point edge on Asheville, and I have more than a 4.5 point edge on the under, so I'm going to go with the under. Longwood and Charleston Southern. My line is Longwood by 10, total 146.25, and it is 7.5 and 144.5. I'm going to lay the points with Longwood. Gardner Webb Campbell. My line is Gardner Webb by 2, total 133.75, and it's 3.5 and 128.5. Over. Wofford Mercer. My line's a pick 'em in 140 and 9/20, and we got Mercer 1.5, total 137.5. I'm going to take the over. Western Carolina and East Tennessee State. My line's East Tennessee State by 4, total 139 and 9/10. And it is 7.5 and 139.5. I'm I'm going to take Western getting the points. Chattanooga and UNC Greensboro. My line's Greensboro by 2, total 139 3/4. And it is 1.5 and 134.5. I'm going to take the over. Citadel Furman. My line is Furman 14.5, total 146 and 11/20. And we got 15.5 and 148.5. Slight under. UNC Wilmington and Elon. My line is Wilmington by 17 3/4, total 134 and 13/20. And we got 10.5 and 133.5. I'm laying the points. St. Louis UMass at 7:30. My line is St. Louis by 1.5, total 142 and 7/20. And we got 2.5 and 149.5. Under. New Mexico State and Stephen F. Austin. My line is Stephen F. Austin by 6.5, total 146 and 11/20. And it's 2.5 and 144.5. I'm going to lay the points. VMI Sanford. My line is Sanford 16, total 145 and 1/10. And it's 13.5 and 143.5. I'm going to lay the points. Miss Valley State and Bama A&M at 8 o'clock. My line is Bama A&M by 10.25, total 137 and 3/10. And it's 10.5 and 132.5. Over. Grambling, Texas Southern. My line is Southern by 3.25, total 133 and 19/20. And for some reason here it is. 2.5 and 131.5. Over. Indiana State and Illinois State. My line is Indiana State by 8.25, total 142 and 1/10. And it's 6.5 and 143.5. I'm going to lay the points at Indiana State. Evansville, Missouri State. My line is Missouri State by 17.25, total 130 and 7/20. And it is 14.5 and 128.5. I'm laying the points. Drake, Southern Illinois. My line is Southern by 2.25, total 131 and 9/20. And it is 1.5 and 126.5. Over. Belmont, UIC. My line is Belmont 3.25, total 140 and 9/20. And it's 5.5 and 141.5. I'm going to take UIC getting the points. Bradley, Murray State. My line's Bradley by 4.5, total 133, and it's 4.5 and 131.5. So slight over. Number 4, Connecticut at Providence at 8:30 on Fox Sports 1. My line is Providence by 3/4, total 145 and 9/20. And it's UConn 5.5, total 141.5. Woo! Providence plus 5.5 and plus 772. Upset of the night. UConn goes down again. SEC Network, number 20, Missouri, number 13, Arkansas. My line's Arkansas 7.5, total 151.5, and it is 7.5 and 154.5. So I'm going to take the under. Southern Prairie View. My line is Prairie View by 3/4, total 142.25, and it is 2.5 and 140.5. I have the same difference in edge on both Southern and the over. So for the podcast pick, I'm going to go with the slight over to play it safe. Pine Bluff, Bama State. My line is Bama State by 3.25, total 137.5, and it is 3.5 and 141.5. Under. Incarnate Word at A&M, Corpus Christi. My line's Corpus Christi by 11.5, total 140 and 2/5. And it's 13.5 and 140.5. I'm going to take Incarnate Word getting the points. Lindenwood, Little Rock. My line's Little Rock by 7, total 148 and 3/10. And it is 6.5 and 148.5. Slight Little Rock. Game of the night, 9 o'clock on ESPN2, number 17 TCU, number 19 Baylor. My line is Baylor by 2 3/4 on 142 and 9/20, and we got 6.5 and 141.5. I'm taking TCU again, the points. That's way too many points. ACC Network, Wake, North Carolina. My line is UNC by 9.5, total 151 and 10th, and it is 10.5 and 151.5. Ooh, very close. Slight Wake Forest. Clemson, Virginia Tech on ESPNU. My line is Va Tech by 3 3/4, so 140 3/4, and it is 6.5 and 137.5. I'm taking Clemson. Wait. I have a bigger edge on the over, so over's the pick. But I do like Clemson, though. The Paul Butler on the CBS Sports Network. My line is Butler by 5 3/4, so 141 and 10th, and it is 8.5 and 139.5. I'm gonna take DePaul getting the points. Illinois Northwestern on the Big Ten Network. My line is Illinois by 2.5, total 133 and a 20th, and it is Illinois by 3.5, total 132.5. Slight Northwestern. And last but not least, Colorado State, Nevada, 10:30 Fox Sports 1. My line's Nevada by 3, total 139 and 7/10, and it is 4.5 and 140.5. So slight lean Colorado State. All right, now move on to the NBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's slate, which is much larger. So, Bucks over the Wizards 123 to 113. Thunder over the Celtics 150 to 117. Kings over the Jazz 117-115. And then tonight's games, 7 o'clock you have the Grizzlies and the Hornets. My line is Grizzlies by 12 3/4, total 228, and we got 8 and 236. Under. Suns, Cavs. My line's Cavs by 11 1/4, total 222 and 9/20. And it's 5 and 218. I'm only to 5 with Cleveland. Thunder, Magic. My line's Orlando by 7, total 228 and 3/10. And it's 2 and 228. I'm laying the 2 with Orlando. No SGA, no win for OKC. That's a one-man team pretty much in OKC. All due respect to Josh Giddey. Pacers, Sixers. My line is Philly by 13 1/4, total 225 and 9/10, and it's 7.5 and 232. So differentials are pretty nuts. Less than 6. So 5 3/4 on the Sixers. And a little over 6 on the under, so I'm going to go with the under. 7:30 from the Garden, Spurs, Knicks. My line's Knicks by 9 3/4, total 229, and it's 9.5 and 227.5. Slight over. Bucks, Raptors on ESPN. My line is, wait for it, Raptors by 1, total 223 and a 5th, and it's 4 and 226.5. Under. Nets, Bulls at 8. My line's Nets by 7, total 227 and 19/20, and it is let's see here. So I have Nets by 7, total 227 and 19/20, and it is 5 and 235.5 under. Blazers, Timberwolves. My line is the Wolves by 1.5, total 227 and 7/10, and it is 1 and 233.5 under. Rockets, Pelicans. My line is the Pelicans by 7 1/4, total 227 and 7/10, and it's 7 and 228.5. Slight under. Pistons, Warriors at 10 o'clock. My line is Warriors by 5, total 232 and 11/20, and it is 6.5 and 231. So I have a 1.5 point edge on the Pistons and a little bit more than that on the over. So the slight over is the pick. And then Heat Lakers. My line is Heat by 5.5, total 226, and a 20th. This game's on ESPN, and it's 5.5 and 229.5 under. And Hawks Kings. My line is Kings by 5 and 3/4, total 233, and it is 1 and 245.5. That is way too high for a total. Give me the under. Alrighty. Now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Panthers over the Coyotes 5-3. Hurricanes lose as their winning streak of 11 comes to an end. They drop one at the Garden to the Rangers 5-3. Sens over the Blue Jackets 4-0. Blues over the Maple Leafs 6-5 in a shootout. Sabres over the Capitals 5-4 in OT on a game winner by Tage Thompson. Preds over the Habs 6-3. Jets over the Flames 3-2. Lightning over the Blackhawks 4-1. Kraken over the Oilers 5-2. Kings over the Stars 3-2. And the Isles over the Canucks 6-2. 7 o'clock TNT, Devils Red Wings. Devils minus 178, Red Wings plus 146, over under 6.5, minus 110 each way. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 148, Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 184. I like the over. 9:30 TNT, Lightning Wild. I would say that's where Kenny Albert and Eddie Olczyk are going to be, right? Lightning minus 118, or Wild minus 118, Lightning minus 102, over under 6, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Lightning plus 1.5 is minus 260, Wild minus 1.5 is plus 205. I'm going with the under in that game. And last but not least, at 10 o'clock, the Stars and the Ducks. Stars minus 205, Ducks plus 168, over under 6, overs minus 130, unders plus 106. Dallas plus 1.5, or minus 1.5 is plus 118, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 144. For this one, I'm going to go with first period result, Dallas Stars plus 132. All right, now we're going to do the soccer recap. We're going to go over all the notable soccer results and look ahead to any big soccer games going on today. So, Copa del Rey, we'll start with round of 32 from yesterday. Valencia over La Nucia 3-0. Villarreal over FC Cartagena 5-1. Espanyol over Celta Vigo 3-1. In extra time. Ceuta over Elche 1-0. Levante over Getafe 3-2. Sporting over Rayo 2-0. Real Madrid over Casareno 1-0. All right, 1 o'clock today you have Linares and Sevilla. Pulling up the line right now. Sevilla's minus 340. Linares is 8-1. Draw 390. That's a tough one. I think there could be an upset in this game, but I'm willing to pull the trigger. So I'm going to go under 2.5 goals plus 104. Pontevedra and Mallorca. Mallorca minus 160. Pontevedra plus 410. Draw plus 260. And I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 104. UD, Logroñez, and Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad is minus 470. Logroñez 10-1. Draw plus 450. We're going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 102. 2 o'clock, Real Oviedo and Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid minus 220. Oviedo 6-1. Draw plus 280. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 106. 3 o'clock, Alaves and Valladolid. Each team's plus 165 and the draw's plus 195. This is a tough one. And I mean a really tough one. I'm going to go with the draw, plus 195. I think we might see extra time or kicks. And last but not least for today, Barcelona and Intercity. Barcelona's minus 1250. Sant Joan is 20-1 and the draw's 850. We're going to over 3.5 goals at minus 104. All right, English Premier League. Yesterday's results: Arsenal, Newcastle, 0-0 draw. Brighton over Everton, 4-1. Fulham over Leicester, 1-0. And Man United over Bournemouth, 3-0. 4 games today, 2:30, Southampton and Nottingham Forest. English Premier League has some interesting games today. Southampton's plus 120. Nottingham 240, draw 230. Like I said, this is a really tough one. I'm going to go with the draw at 230. Both these teams are not good. 245 Leeds and West Ham. Each team's plus 165, draw plus 230. I'm going to go with the draw at 230. Aston Villa and Wolves. Aston Villa's even money. Wolves 290, draw 240. I'm going to play it safe and take Aston Villa at even money. And last but not least, Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Tottenham's 110, Palace 260, draw 240. I'm going to go with Tottenham at plus 110. All right, Serie A. We have a couple final already for today. Milan over Salernitana 2-1 and Sampdoria over Sassuolo 2-1. Right now, Verona over Torino 1-0 and Spezia over Atalanta 2-0. All right, coming up at 10:30, we have AS Roma and Bologna. So Roma's minus 170. Bologna's 490, draw 260. We're going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 116. Let's say in Lazio. Lazio even money. Let's say 290, draw 220. I'm going to go with Lazio at even money. 12:30, we got Cremonese and Juventus. Juventus, that's a big one. They're minus 140. Cremonese, 370, draw 250. We're going over 2.5 goals at minus 102. Fiorentina and Monza. Fiorentina minus 160. Monza 420, draw 290. We're going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 104. 245 Inter Milan and Napoli. Inter's plus 135, Napoli plus 210, draw plus 220. This is a good one. Like a real good one. I'm going to go with Napoli at plus 210 to pull it out. And last but not least, Udinese and Empoli. Udinese is minus 170. Empoli 440, draw 290. We're going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 114. All right, now move on to the news and notes for today. Not a lot, but we'll start obviously with Damar Hamlin's family. Came out with a statement offering thanks for the generosity and compassion, and we'll release updates as soon as we have them. So hopefully he's doing better, and hopefully we get an update sooner rather than later. The Sabres honored Damar Hamlin with Love for 3 shirts in support of Hamlin. Bills-Bengals will not be played this week as the league announces that it won't resume this week and no changes will be made to the Week 18 schedule. I don't think that game's being played at all, and they're just not going to count that game in the standings. And then they'll go by, like, winning percentage or some random tiebreakers. David Tepper, the Panthers owner, is talking to Jim Harbaugh about the team's head coaching position, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Carson Wentz to be benched again, as Taylor Heineke will start in Week 18, and rookie Sam Howell also slated to play, so that's pretty interesting. Carlos Correa's deal will be different, as his Mets contract is expected to be dramatically different if he signs. The Yankees hire Brian Sabean, who obviously was in the Giants front office for those championships, and will be an executive advisor to Brian Cashman. The Red Sox and Rafael Devers avoid arbitration, 1 year, $17.5 million, and a long-term extension is still in play. A lot of people think he's out. We'll see. Marvin Bagley out 8 to 6 weeks, as he's to have surgery on broken fingers in the right hand. That's not great for the Pistons. Zion Williamson out at least 3 weeks with a hamstring strain and will be reevaluated then. Brutal loss for New Orleans. Kelly Oubre out 4 to 6 weeks as he'll undergo surgery on a torn ligament in his left hand. He was playing well for them. I wonder if they're going to trade him and they try to rush him back. And U.S. Soccer came out with a statement as Greg Berhalter was investigated after a person contacted U.S. Soccer, and the coach says he kicked now wife Rosalind in legs near 91. Oof. I wonder if he's going to get punished for that or not. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel, 2-0 on the year. Yesterday, I took South Carolina getting the points against Vandy, and that one. Monday, I took the Cavs -4, and it took Donovan Mitchell scoring 71 to win that bet. So for today, there are some good ones in all the sports. And there are a couple that stood out in college hoops to me. And the one I'm going to touch for best bet will be it's tempting to go Charleston, but I just don't like laying double digits on the road. I might look in the NBA instead, because a lot of these college ones scare me. You know what? I'm going to lay the 2 at the Magic against OKC. No SG. I know the Wagner brothers aren't there, so it's a little scary. But they have Banchero. They have a lot of other pieces. And they're only laying 2, so I'm going to lay a full unit, actually, with the Magic, minus the points against the Thunder. So that's it for Best Bet and the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, look ahead to everything tomorrow. We're going to get back into golf tomorrow as there's another tournament getting underway in the new year. And then obviously news and notes and Best Bet. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.